I am the god of fits and wine. uh, hey,
Wow.
welcome back to an episode of The Small Council. Now, why is it called The Small Council instead of The Councilmen? Well, Albert, why don't you take it away and explain?
Well, this is
So good.
this is a Game of Thrones special episode. We have several already now, and in this particular episode, I am once again joined with Ariq, who, if you guys recall, did a prediction two-parter in the Game of Thrones special, and I have also another special guest for today, and it is Jason Wiradharma. I'm gonna let him speak for himself pretty soon, but I'm pretty sure he's a huge Game of Thrones fan, and he's been talking to me on through messages regarding his thoughts on the episodes, but I don't think he have really expressed his thoughts on the series finale. So I'm interested to hear that. And talking about series finale, that is the thing that we'll be talking about today. We'll be recapping, discussing, reviewing what we thought of Bran being in the freaking Iron Throne.
Oh
what
my goodness.
What happened to Dany? We're gonna be talking about all that. So spoilers ahead. We're gonna be talking about the season as a whole. We're gonna be talking about the series. So yeah, that's going to be a whole lot of stuff. So I'll pass it on to our guest first, Jason. Would you say you're a big Game of Thrones fan?
I'm a massive Game of Thrones fan. You know, I love the fantasy, the dragons, but also the storyline. You know, it's not just about the fantasy part. It's all about, you know, driving the characters. They're all really interesting. They all have great backstories, and they all have their own arcs. And that's why I've loved Game of Thrones. It's been a quality season up until recently. They've let us down, but I'm sure we can find some positives.
We'll see if we actually can find some positives or not. But yeah, before we start, if for video viewers, you can see I'm wearing "I Drink and I Know Things" shirt, and for video viewers as well, you can see that we all have quote unquote wine, and we are definitely legal of age. This is definitely wine, 100%. There are so many alcohol in here, we're gonna get drunk. So yeah.
We're gonna get. You're just gonna mention that blatantly.
Yeah, we're definitely of age, guys. Don't worry about it. And this is 100% wine. Trust us.
100% alcohol. Yeah.
It's not cranberry juice or syrup water or anything. Don't worry.
It's tequila, and we just give food coloring. That's it.
Wait. This is Dornish wine, huh?
You guys got fancy chalice. I'm stuck with this stupid Deadpool.
Yeah, mate.
This is the closest thing to a clear glass that I can find in my apartment.
You gotta get the budget up, mate. Where's the budget?
Okay, it's either this or an empty water bottle. Which one do you have? That's the only clear thing that is in my room. But yeah. So yeah, we are going to talk about all that. And first and foremost, don't forget to subscribe if you guys like this podcast and want to hear more, all kinds of stuff. We got a lot of stuff planned up ahead in the summer for the podcast. So yeah, guys, let's just talk about this episode first and foremost. The episode started out with Tyrion walking down through King's Landing and him seeing he eventually goes to Jaime and Cersei's corpse. It started off right there. What you guys thought in the initial start of this episode, Ariq?
Even though like Jaime and Cersei, you know, they started out in Game of Thrones as like, you know, those like least favorable characters. Like you just don't really like them at all. Mm-hmm. It was actually it was pretty much quite heartbreaking to see like Tyrion being sad over their deaths because like he doesn't see them as like really evil people. He kind of just sees them as his own family members. So like for somebody to see their family members dead like that,
yeah,
it's obviously very heartbreaking when he cleared the rubble.
Yeah, even though I'm pretty sure Tyrion pretty much loved Jaime. I'm not too sure if he loves Cersei to the fullest.
I mean,
yeah,
but it's still.
But he doesn't want to kill her. You know, like if there's a way to save her, he will like do it.
But yeah, it's like Ariq said, it's still heartbreaking to see that.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
It's their family. Like, even though he might hate Cersei, like, I think that family bond he had with them is stronger than like the hate he has. So it's like a forced, I don't know, forced love.
Forced
in a
love,
way.
I guess, yeah. And I'm just gonna say, we're not. I don't think we're gonna go like scene by scene in this review, but my honestly, the first half of this episode leading up to Dany's death, I really really like.
It was
And then
good. I agree.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
the second half, it just I did not like the second half as much as the first half. I don't know
I
if
don't
you
know.
guys
No
feel the
way.
same way.
The reason why didn't really like the second half that much, or maybe they can say the same reason for you. Just that it's kind of, I don't know, like it's empty, it's bland, it's like all the all the shit has happened before, and then Danny is finally dead. The Iron Throne is melted by Drogon, and all
Which
of
is
that
kind
is
of
like
cool.
it's like what's left of the story, you know?
It's like all
It's
the
just like
exciting stuff's
bits and
happened, and they're
pieces.
just trying to fill up the time,
Well,
Yeah,
basically.
they're just like
but
it's kind of like it's kind of more of a like, oh shit, what now?
yeah, but
Yeah, exactly. Like, uh-oh.
but I sort of agree and disagree. The disagree part is like, well, once again, I feel like Benioff and Weiss, the writers of the show, they really rushed this season for some reason. I mean, like, I don't think the fans, HBO want another season. I'm pretty sure the fans wouldn't mind another season, but they decided to do this last two seasons being 6 episodes and 7 episodes respectively.
Super
So,
rushed. Mm.
I mean, like, honestly, that last half, I agree with you that it feels odd to see that last half of the episode in that particular episode, but you can see whatever happened in that last half episode spread out into several different episodes on its own.
Oh yeah, they could like
Oh yeah.
branch out because they all explore on their own
Well,
paths. So if they wanted to
actually,
set it up for another section, they could.
Yeah.
actually, I saw like on Instagram, like somebody had a suggestion if Game of Thrones was longer. Like somebody suggested that the Night King and the Long Night, that could be like season 8, and then
Exactly.
season 9 could be like the last war against Cersei and all that. And then
Yeah.
season 10 would be like
Mm.
Dany's reign and downfall. Like you can
Yeah.
extend
Yeah,
it
I
that
saw that.
far.
That is exactly perfect the same way. Also, like just to go back to the Night King thingy, I feel like he's such a one episode, one off character kill, and it's like there is no repercussions about it anymore. They never even talk about it or discuss it
Yeah,
regarding when Danny claimed the throne or anything like that. It's like such a one off thing. And like Ariq said, the reign after Danny could be another season on its own. You guys remember that episode on season 7 in the Dragon Pit where everyone's meeting? That's one episode on its
Yeah.
own, and I feel like this meeting with Tyrion and Grey Worm and the now hot sweet Robin Aaron, now all grown up. I mean, like that. It's a meme. Yeah, people's been talking about that. Breast milk really changed your life. I mean, look at
Yes, it
Tormund
does.
Giant Spain. Look at Tormund Giant Spain.
What a beast.
So like, I mean, in Game of Thrones, at least in Westeros. But yeah, that whole scene on its own could be one episode. Even it could be spread out to several episodes, in my opinion, because there's like so many stuff in that thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I just think that the meeting was, I don't know, it was like mainly pointless, and then all of a sudden, it's
And I
like
think it was just really like
one plan for the
anticlimactic
king.
ending.
Yeah.
I think it was really anticlimactic because the whole season or the whole series is about who's going to sit on the Iron Throne. And so after Drogon burns the throne and they just have this council, it's just not the same feeling. Like, it's not the same impact. Like, there's no throne to sit onto, or like, why Bran? Like,
Yeah, like the reason why I think the biggest complaint is that why Bran is on the Iron Throne is because they literally had, the build up of Jon's reveal as Aegon Targaryen, and then they're just like, oh yeah, we kind of, and then D&D is just like, oh yeah, so we kind of forgot that Jon is actually Aegon Targaryen.
Exactly.
Fuck
Like,
up, and
what
we
the
suck at
hell is
writing.
the?
Fuck you, D&D.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck
yeah,
you.
what?
Watch this and
Calm
I'll
down.
say,
Calm
fuck
down.
you.
Explicit. Dude, our podcast will be explicit for this episode. Just a warning. Ariq already started it. But yeah,
You said D&D first. That's already explicit on its own.
how is D&D explicit? That's the name of a
The end.
person.
Dick and dickhead.
Wow, rude. But yeah, I agree with your point exactly. What the hell is the point of Aegon Targaryen reveal being such a huge thing in season 7, and they build up to even the long night episode and everything, and in that council meeting they did not even brought up that topic. Like
No.
I understand he's a prisoner, but what the hell is the point of the reveal unless if it's only to make Dany fully
They just killed
grown up?
Varys, and they just that's it, and just her madness. Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. The Varys was writing those notes. Does it not go out to anyone? Like, did no one like got those letters?
Yeah. What was
Varys
that?
wrote?
I was like, did we get to see what he wrote? Like, what was the point?
Yeah, I feel like the three biggest criticism this season is, well, first is the rushing issue. The pacing is like very fast.
Mm.
Second is Dany's heel turn. I'm just gonna say heel turn. And then the last one is probably this brand decision. So, and yeah, it's I all agree with all those issues, but this one really disturbs me the most because look at okay, we have a small council of 3 people here, and it can
Mm.
take us around 1 hour to talk about Game of Thrones. They only took like 20 minutes to
I know. What the
agree that
hell?
Bran will be the king of Westeros.
Oh.
And there are
Yeah, they
so many.
literally they took like like it's so quick. They're just like Brand the Brook, and everyone's like, oh yeah, sure.
I mean,
Like,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, sure thing.
First of all, I like Tyrion. He's one of my favorite character. But at that scene, I feel like Grey Worm even pointed out, "You're a prisoner. You have no right to speak." And then he starts to speak anyway. It's like, I think Bran the Broken should be the ruler, and everyone just agree. Everyone literally just agree. Like, what the
Who
hell?
does that?
Who
I
have
can
a
kind of
better-
see that.
Go on.
I can see that. I was looking at like why they would choose him, like from a logical perspective. So he's the three, he's got like all of mankind's history. So it'd be logical to choose him because he can make the right decisions from history. But in real life, that does not make any sense. Like you can't respect him because he's done nothing throughout the entire series. And so how do you expect people to follow you and follow your decisions? So from a logical perspective, yes, but in real life, no.
Yeah, it's true. He has like no influence or even I think the only
Yeah.
like literally the only thing that people can really look up to is kind of like his name, I guess. Like Stark is still somewhat a big name, but I think Targaryen is even more is even more like
Yeah, for
hype
sure.
or it's more worthy.
and and yeah, even I feel like Bran stopped being a character after the Hodor moment, which is a really sad scene, by the way. But like
Mhm.
before that, you can because he still got emotions, you still can sort of care for him. With all the season building up to that Hodor moment, but after that, I feel like he's literally a walking plot device. He got no character whatsoever. Even
No
that,
emotions at all. He's one face.
and
He
like,
just
what is his purpose from that Hodor moment all the way until now? Literally nothing but to become a plot device of spreading that Jon is Aegon. That's literally it. And like even that scene
And
with
and even that they didn't even like follow along
they
with
just
it.
cut that off. They cut that off.
like
John's like,
exactly.
tell Sansa and Arya, and then they just cut it off. Oh, that got me so mad.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I mean, Tyrion's like, who have a better story than Bran the Broken? First of all, he's sitting next to two characters who have much better story than her, much better story than him, Arya and Sansa. And then even Davos have a better story than Bran the Broken.
Bran doesn't even.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
I mean, if they are building, if they the fact is that they did not build up Bran to be like this, to have this all good
The
story. Like
leader, yeah,
he got all the story in the world because he's the three-eyed raven, which makes sense if you want to make the
yeah.
case like, oh, he know the history, he know everything back and forth.
Mm.
And you might say that, oh, because of his emotionless, maybe that's a better ruler since the last three rulers are full of emotion: Dany, Cersei, and I'm not gonna count Tommen, but like Joffrey, I guess, is like full emotionless. I mean, full of emotion, and Bran is probably not emotion at all. So that's like a good case, I guess. But he was missing from the whole season 5, and nobody gave a shit about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I actually didn't even notice that when you told me. Like, wait, he didn't really appear in season 5, so I kind of like
He
skimmed
did
along.
not.
And I kind of like skimmed along season 5 from like here, and I was just like, oh yeah, where's Brett?
Which makes it more insane that someone who disappeared for one whole season ended up being the Iron
Can still be.
Yeah, that's why people keep comparing him to like, like he's that one guy in your group work who doesn't do anything and takes all the credit. Basically,
Yeah.
Bran.
Yeah, even like I'm sort of curious now if I do have the time to maybe rewatch it and see if they are actually building up Bran
Hinting, yeah.
to be this. But I don't think, thinking back, I don't think they really do, which is kind of sad because like everything building up to that point is like everything building up to this season has been really good for Game of Thrones. Yeah. So another thing that I okay, well, one positive thing from that council meeting of the what's it called, the people of power in Westeros, is
The
when
Lords of Westeros, I think.
yeah, Lords of Westeros is when Edmund Tully start rambling and then Sansa's like, "Uncle, sit down." That's a good one.
Oh, I'm still confused about his rambling. Was he trying to proclaim himself as the king of the Seven Kingdoms?
I think he was trying to argue his case. I think it's like
He's like a little shy. He's like, oh wait, maybe I can't. Okay, I'll stop.
I mean, like even if he did do it, I'd be like, who the fuck wants you to be king? You do
exactly.
fuck all. He did near fuck all to Bran too.
Second to Bran.
Second to Bran,
Oh.
yeah.
But yeah, I also I think I mentioned to you guys off the air, and I did mention like I think there will be like a democratic council of leaders, and like Samuel Tarly brought up that idea. It should be like a democracy, and I'm glad they didn't do it because I feel like Westeros isn't ready for that. So they sort of like
No
laugh.
way.
They laugh at it, which is like sort of like a funny thing.
Man, they did Sam wrong, man. They did Sam wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
Sam was like, to be honest, Sam was like 500 years ahead of their time. So
I mean,
yeah,
he got a
no
water bottle, so he is literally
Yeah.
500 years.
He's definitely,
Did you guys saw that?
Behind
he's
his
like
seat,
1,000
yeah.
years ahead.
him and Davos, I believe, have the water bottle.
Water bottles, gotta keep hydrated,
Yeah, they're really advancing. After Starbucks, they got water bottle. Wow, Westeros is
Damn.
progressing real fast.
Bottled water. Wow.
But yeah, another thing that I really have issue aside from the brand being chosen is from a story perspective, for a character perspective, I like that Sansa brought up the idea like we want to be independent, the North. I like that for her character, but for in terms of the story, this is once again going back to it being rushed. It doesn't make sense to me because Yara, how the hell did Yara not brought up like, oh, if she wants to be independent, I want to be independent too. I got promised the Iron Islands by Dany. Like she didn't even brought it up at all.
Yeah, no, like I think I saw like a meme like Sansa, we want to be independent. Yara, wait, we can do that.
I mean, like
Think
out of everyone, Yara is probably the most outspoken as well in there, and she just stayed quiet when Sansa brought that up, which is so out of character.
Oh wait, I forgot to mention something. You know when all the lords laughed at Sam for the democracy part.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure if Yara remembers, but the Iron Islands technically vote for their king too. Like the scene, remember that scene with Euron?
Yeah.
When Euron first appeared, yeah. The people chose him, right, to be king, even though the rightful would be Theon.
That's true.
It's I don't know, it's just kind of like ironic for her in her case at least.
Yeah. Jason, what did you think of Sansa getting the North on its own?
I think she's trying to grow into her own, like trying to create her own path. So by owning that part of the North, she feels that she's not. I think she might have felt like she's in the shadow of Jon, maybe a little bit, because he's like the hero. Everyone wants to follow Jon, but nobody really wants to follow Sansa. Her taking that independence, she's showing like she's becoming an adult now. Like she doesn't need anyone to support her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, before we get to all that Sansa stuff, did you guys realize all the dire wolves literally reflect the ending of the characters? Like Jon is ghost and is literally becoming like a ghost going outside of the north. Sansa is lady and she's literally become the lady.
Oh yeah, her dog's name was
I
like
believe
What
I
does my
believe
what does
Bran is
Nymeria mean?
Bran is summer, is it?
Forgot
Nymeria.
forgot the direwolf's name. So
I'm
only
I'm I'm
remember
I'm
those.
gonna I'm gonna Google that real quick, but I believe it reflects everything about what they become, which is like kind of poetic. But
I don't think Rob's is what was Rob's direwolf? Was it called
I'm not too sure.
is it called Dead? Because that's what he did. That's what happened
No,
to him.
no.
It's just cool.
Rip.
Gray is it Greywind?
Yeah.
It's Greywind, isn't it?
I don't think it is.
Nymeria separates from the pack, which is like what Arya is doing. Uh, Shaggy Dog is what's his name? The guy that died in
Shaggy dog.
The guy that died in Winterfell, Battle of Winterfell. What's the brother name? Guys,
Oh,
help me out, Game of Thrones nerds. What's
Recon,
the
Recon,
Battle
Rickon?
Recon,
Yeah, I mean,
Recon's
Rickon, yeah.
his dog name is Shaggy Dog, so I'm not surprised that he died.
Shaggy dog. Scooby Doo.
Yeah, he kind of he did look like Shaggy for a bit when he died.
That's true.
So
And
that makes sense.
Bran, his name is Summer, which is like showing like a
Oh
dawn
yeah,
of
wait,
new era.
yeah, he technically ruled from King's Landing, which is usually summer.
But also it's
Good
sort of
looking.
like everything this whole show is about winter is coming, and so like his name is Summer is like a dawn of a new era, sort of, because he's being like
Oh. Okay.
Right, yeah.
so it's kind of
Symbolism.
nice that way. But yeah, I still wish so much like that. I wish that council meeting in Dragon Pit could have spread out for at least one whole episode instead of just bloody 20 minutes and everyone decided to agree that Bran should be the ruler. Like at least there should be like some kind of
Because
discussion.
I think the writing was weak throughout the entire season. Because if they had the discussion, I think it could have been worse. Because I know that throughout the entire season, we wanted more story and there was a lot more action than we anticipated. So if there was a discussion, I don't think like our expectations have been too high, and we would have been probably more disappointed.
Oh really?
But it would have been. I would have liked to see the discussion as well, but maybe hearing the discussion would have made it worse. I don't know, because there was just poor scripting throughout the entire season, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I can understand that, but like there are like so many. The fact that everyone just agreed to Tyrion, it's just. I understand he might be the smartest person in the room, but it doesn't seem right to me, especially since all of them, I feel like want the throne, and
I thought they would actually want to, make a claim
Argue,
their
yeah,
own
make his point.
and exactly like nobody even like you mentioned once again going back, nobody even brought up the Aegon Targaryen topic. And isn't Gendry Baratheon supposed to be in line for the throne technically?
technically, yeah, again, yeah, again.
Nobody brought that
Because
up.
he's the bastard. Yeah.
No,
But
I
but
mean,
he's
Daenerys was
legitimized.
named.
Yeah.
Daenerys named him Baratheon, Lord of Storms, and
So yeah,
so technically he has a
even
claim now.
at least if there's like a moment where Gendry's like, yeah, I'm the direct heir to Robert, but I don't want a throne. At least like mention that. At least that would have
At
been
least,
better.
yeah, like I mean, yeah, technically it's Lords of Westeros, right? So Gendry was there, wasn't he? I didn't really know.
He was there. Gendry was there.
He was there. See, he didn't say anything. That's why I didn't notice
He
that.
was. Yeah, he didn't say anything. I mean, yeah. Who else was
I
there?
mean, he's literally the one. I mean, if it's not a Targaryen, then it's Baratheon that has the right
lineage
of ruling.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, the
like
right of lineage. Yeah.
who was there? Samuel was there. Edmer, some new Prince of Dorne, I believe. I'm not familiar. I think it's some new face.
I didn't know there was another
Again,
Prince of Dorne. I thought they're all dead.
I think there's
Speaking
a
of which,
difference over there.
what happened to Elia?
Yeah, I don't know if she's alive or dead, but I don't
No,
think
not Elia.
there's
Elaria. I don't remember.
yeah the mother, right?
Who?
The mother
Yeah,
of
the mother.
the mother of the sand witches.
Snakes. The Sand Snakes.
Sand
Yeah, I
witches.
mean, she was literally locked up, and Cersei said that she'd keep her alive, but
Yeah, I don't
we
think
don't see her.
she's still trapped
I
there.
think after the
She's
whole
still trapped.
tower fell, I think she's a goner. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the tower that fell.
Because
But
I
yeah,
was gonna assume she died by tower.
out of everyone in that council area, even Brienne and Davos, I feel like deserve there. Out of everyone that I feel like seems the most out of place is Arya. But I'm not gonna be the one to tell Arya to get out of the room because she clearly kills the Night King.
With Arya, she didn't even use the faceless ones. You know what I mean? Like what
Yeah,
is that? Like, what's
Yeah,
the point
I
of
saw
building that up? And then she
I
doesn't
saw
even
on
use the ability. Like, what is the
I saw
point?
on Instagram like a list of like
what a
useless
waste.
powers that do not get involved in the story, and there's like Bran's work abilities, Arya's what is it, faceless mask
Mm.
thing, John's like real name, like it doesn't contribute to the story in the end.
Yeah, we didn't even
It was
see
just like
Bran.
there.
Yeah, now that you pointed out, we didn't really see Bran work into anything much that helped out the story this season at all.
I don't know, why can't he just like work into one of the dragons?
Work into Drogon. I mean, he's about to do it in the end, but yeah, yeah. But Arya didn't even use the mask, which like, what the hell is the point of building up? How many ever seasons to do that? Like, not at all.
It's such a
It's
good
just
idea.
It's just like season 5, wasn't it? When she went to Bravos. I don't remember.
Yeah, I feel like I think it's season 5 or season 6, I think. But
The 5 and yeah, 6.
it's they. I wonder if because George R. R. Martin, he did mention that he gives out the plot points that Benioff and Weiss need to nail. So I'm pretty sure once he released the book, if he ever released the book, the ending, like the main endings are gonna be the same, but whatever leading up to it, I feel like George R. R. Martin's gonna do much more justice. I feel like there's going to be more in explaining why Dany go mad. There's going to be more talking about the lineage of Aegon and Bran and Arya using the face. So I feel like in the books it might be more fleshed out, but in the season, that all of that just literally went down the drain.
Do you think it's because is it a budget issue, or is it because like why do you think
I think
if I'm not mistaken, HBO said that to D&D that they can literally make as many episodes as it needs to finish it. And they said like if they said 20 episodes, the HBO will be like, all right then. But they said 6.
What?
The only reason HBO Go is alive right now is literally because of Game of Thrones. There are like so many people who end their subscriptions of HBO.
Yeah, they like and exactly.
Like
now my watch has ended.
as far as I know, the reason why they rushed it or wanted to be finished is first the cast have been working for this for more than 10 years, and maybe they want to go with something new. They want to yeah, that's one reason. The second reason is Benioff and Weiss also, I believe they are about to start a new Star Wars movie. They're going to be writing a new Star Wars film, a trilogy. So that might be why. But because like Ariq said, HBO, that's they don't mind. If they want another, I believe HBO said that they wanted another season, but Benioff and Weiss like, no, we wanted this season and it's done.
Oh.
Oh wow! Even HBO was very supportive of of that.
I mean, it's a one.
Because isn't the only other big show? The other big show on HBO is Walking Dead, is it?
I don't know. Walking Dead's on an HBO, I think.
No, that's
no. Oh.
That's AMC.
Oh, okay.
I think. Well, the big one on HBO right now is Barry, and I heard it's good, but I have not checked out Barry. But yeah. So we talk about the small council. I don't think I'm missing anything, right, guys? You guys have any criticism about the small council thingy?
No, I think we addressed them pretty well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think in terms of small council, yeah, but there is actually one more thing I want to talk about. It's actually it's the fate of Jon. You know, like how he was forced to send to the wall because of the Unsullied, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't even need the wall anymore.
Yeah, first, it's not.
What is the
like
point?
One, they don't need the wall. Second, the Unsullied literally have no power. Like they literally went to Nath after Like, why would they still stick with what they want?
They
like
can
why
just
didn't
be
they
like,
just be
no, I'm
like,
gonna stay
why,
here. Actually,
why didn't they just be like, why didn't they just be like, oh, John, he's gone now, you can stay.
I
Why
feel
did they
like
still have to force him to go to the wall?
well, well, I feel like because Danny give Grey Worm the power to be like the Lord Commander, right, or something. So I guess he sort of have a power at
Yeah,
that moment as well.
at that moment, but in the end, he just leaves. As soon as he leaves, why can't they just say like, John, you don't
yeah.
have to go,
It's not like he's gonna
just
come back and
stay.
check on him like every
But
week.
Yeah,
but like
I don't think. Yeah, is he gonna like check on
okay,
him,
okay,
like, or
I get I get
whatever?
I
Like,
get
Where's
I get
John?
I get what you mean. So you mean like after Grey Worm have left, you guys like, oh, John should come back.
yeah,
Exactly.
like John, you know, like okay, John, he's gone, just come back. Like, why
Okay,
don't
well,
any of them say that?
since we're on the topic, let's just jump to that. But like, I like that ending for John. I like that ending because out of all the seasons, John has always the only time John has been happy. I feel like is when he's beyond the wall with the wildlings, like
Mm.
because his best moments are I'm pretty sure with Ygritte and with the wildlings as well, and ever since he come back from beyond the wall, he haven't been that happy. He wasn't happy for in the Battle of the Bastards, obviously. He wasn't
Yeah,
that
yeah,
happy
like
when he ruled Winterfell. He wasn't happy when he met Dany and he's sort of happy, but he wasn't happy ever since then or before then even. So it's sort of nice to see that ending for him.
But
actually, yeah, that's true.
you're right.
If you think about it, when he came back, so what happened? He was killed, brought back to life, brought back to
I
life, forced to fight for his home, and then now he has to fight the White Walkers, and then he had to kill the Queen. It's like a
Yeah,
lot of shit
exactly.
hit the
He's
fan.
not happy.
I bet most of his mind was like, I should have stayed north beyond the wall. Fuck, this was a big mistake.
Jason, you're saying something?
Yeah, I think the wall he was lost before the wall, wasn't he? And then he went to the wall, and I think like he found his place like as a soldier sort of. And so when during the fight he was like a soldier, but now I would stay because he's got his family now. Like they're all together. Like he's got Sansa, he's got Arya. So I don't see the reason why he would go back. Like
But
he's
then again, all the Stark kids are on their
grown
separate
up
ways
now.
now. They're all on their
Yeah.
separate ways. Two are dead. One is going to the west of Westeros, which I feel weird
So
that no one know what in the west of Westeros is. Uh,
America.
Arya. By the way, that Arya, I if they do a spin-off of Arya the Pirate Queen or something, I will watch
The Pirate Queen.
The Pirate Queen.
the Pirate Assassin.
No. She just
But
ends up in like the Caribbean, and then she finds Jack Sparrow.
see, it's Jack Sparrow, and then she reveals the face. It's Arya.
Wait, what? This is very ambitious, Albert. This is a very ambitious crossover.
But
They
I
thought
mean,
Infinity War was
if there is a
ambitious.
spin-off for Arya, I will watch that. By the way, and Arya is going to West of Westeros. Sansa is ruling the North. Bran is the king of the
King of the
Goodness me.
six kingdoms.
Six kingdoms. I
And yeah,
mean,
so everyone's
people
on
keep,
their separate way.
people like to keep saying that John would be, the new king beyond the wall. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool.
Replacing Mance Rider.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think he wants to be king. He probably just wants to, live with them.
Yeah.
Because every time John is like, "Hey, you're our king," and he's like, "No, please," and then Lyanna Mormont is like, "Yes, king in the north." God damn it,
Oh man,
Lyanna! Shut
Lyanna
the
Mormont.
fuck up.
Before I forget about that, since you brought up Lyanna Mormont, it's just that is one of my favorite moments throughout the whole season. Lyanna Mormont's death. It's my favorite because first
Wow,
it's sad.
that's cruel, man. You like a child dying?
No,
So
it's sad.
cruel.
It's
I just cut you off.
no
What
because
is wrong with you?
let me finish.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
Wow,
Child
Albert.
movies like children dying. Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Scandal.
Goodbye, subscribers.
Shut up. Lyanna is one of my
Okay,
favorite
okay.
characters, and how she died, the smallest character killing one of the biggest characters in the show is epic. And the fact that she dies fighting and she doesn't go to the crypt hiding like she's being told to, that is such an awesome move for Lyanna. And it's not because she died because she's a little kid. I respect her as a little kid. And if she is my queen, I would follow her. I would bend the knee.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, one thing about I guess we'll talk about the endings of the Starks, and then we'll talk about the small council meeting, the one that they brought up, and then we'll go back to talking about Dany because we haven't even touched Dany at all. But I like how
I don't want to touch Dany.
nothing that's
Oh my goodness.
But someone that got touched was Ghost. We finally, that sounds wrong, no?
He got fed. He got fed, not touched.
You good there?
I tried to
Oh
do
my goodness.
I tried to do segue.
This episode
That transition though was not okay.
Dude, when we get 10 million subscribers, if this video will still never gonna get monetized at all. It's just
I mean, one thing that people have been criticizing, back to the point, one thing that people have been criticizing in episode 4, I think, is that Ghost didn't even get pet, but finally Ghost get pet by Jon and they walk away happily with Tormund.
Yeah, that was so sad. He's like, goodbye, Ghost. We're like, wait, what? Okay.
He didn't even say anything to Ghost.
They finally have the budget to cuddle Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so yeah, you guys want to point out anything else about Jon's ending?
No, I just wanted to point out that part about the Unsullied telling him to fuck off.
Yeah. Okay. Doesn't
make sense.
So rewind a little bit, or maybe we should just save it for later. That doesn't matter. But the fact that when Jon killed Dany, I'm surprised that Grey Worm didn't just kill him then and there, because Grey Worm.
Yeah, I know. Like, he was. So he was remember when Grey Worm was about to execute those
Lannisters?
Cersei soldiers? Yeah, the Lannister soldiers. And then he was being super like, no, this is Dany telling us to do it. Like, they're her orders. And then Jon's like, okay, leaves him. And then he goes ahead and executes them. And then he literally just kills Dany and does nothing. Like, what? That does not make any sense.
No one is holding back Grey Worm to do this. That's the thing. Like, if someone's holding him back, that makes sense. But no one is. And he was already so pissed. Like, how the hell did Jon become a prisoner instead of getting killed right there and there?
Like, exactly. I thought he would have been killed.
They literally had no reason. Like, even when Tyrion offered him Highgarden and Reach, he was like, I don't want the lands. I want justice. If you want justice, kill him on the spot. God damn it.
Get your revenge.
Yeah.
Avenge your queen. Like, you have no cocks. You have nothing to live for.
Wow. Although,
brutal.
That really butters me, because it doesn't make sense for his story at all, because throughout the whole season, not throughout the whole, ever since Missandei died, Grey Worm has been totally berserk.
Very out of character.
And yeah,
you know what Grey Worm says if he drops an ice cream?
What?
Sunday.
Oh god.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
These puns. Oh my man.
Yeah. A subtle thing that I noticed, I don't know if you guys notice, that's very nice, is that you know how the Unsullied is always using their helmets. They rarely ever take it off. Only Grey Worm usually. When they're in the boat going to Essos, going to Nut, no one was wearing their helmet. So like, it's sort of like, we're no longer going to war. We're just going to live life. Just like, sort of nice.
Just chilling out. I was just rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
Just rewind a little bit to, when Dany's giving her speech on top of the tower, she's shouting, how can anybody hear her? She's so much higher than everybody else. She's like a little whisper, and they're like, yeah. Like, what?
Oh yeah. Like all the like she's making a speech and all the Dothraki says like, like how did they hear her? Makes no sense.
Well, yeah. Since we're jumping back and forth, let's just talk about here again. But that's even though that doesn't make sense at all. Like what you said, how could they hear her? The speech was awesome, by the way. That speech was really awesome.
I think
that reminds me of like the old Game of Thrones.
I think we can agree on this, Albert. You know that I'm pretty sure like a lot of people really like that scene where Danny
Right.
walks forward and you can
Oh,
see the
that is
Drogon's
That is
wings
so
just rolling up like
good.
that.
that is one of the
That's actually
best.
really good.
I love that.
I used that for my thumbnail for the Game of Thrones season 8 review because like that's just the most. That is such.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
There's like it's one of the coolest shots in the entire series.
it's like the Angel of Death. It's like the personification of the Angel of Death in the background
Yeah,
with Danny with the wings. Oh, that's so cool. And like
yeah, that's actually cool. I like that. I
another
like that
another
shot though.
another question that I have is the previous scene before this I believe was well a few scenes before is like when Jon is like, "Hey, don't kill the Lannister army, give them mercy," and then like Tyrion is over there. I mean not Tyrion, Grey Worm is over there. And then the next scene, Grey Worm and the whole Unsullied army is already lining up. Like, how the hell did they get so fast? And Jon is still right over here.
Teleportation.
And like
Unsullied can teleport.
not really criticism, but more of a confusion. Like, how the hell is so many Dothraki and Unsullied still alive? I thought
Yeah,
they're
what? There's like a full army.
No, the Dothraki can be explained a bit. Like, she didn't send all the Dothraki to die. She still had some of them in Dragonstone, if I'm not mistaken. But in terms of the Unsullied, yeah, I'm
wait,
not sure. They
really?
say that
In Dragonstone? I didn't know that.
I
Because
think she
in
kept
the
like she placed half in Winterfell and half in Dragonstone. So the ones
Okay.
that died in the charge, they're all dead. But half
Okay.
of them are
yeah,
still
they're,
alive.
they're
And there's still a
gone.
lot of them. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I guess I can also
That's
make an
funny.
argument. If they want to argue, they're like, "Oh well, nobody can see anything anyway, so we can put that scene into one."
True, true. But the Unsullied part makes no sense because she began with 8,000 when she first started
She
like
got so
season
many
3
Unsullied.
too.
She still has so
She had
many. They can't have.
She had 8,000. Several of them died from throughout the season from the Sons of
Yeah.
Harpy and all whatever. And then she said that she lost half of them during the Battle of Winterfell, so she should have like 3,000 left or something. But it looked a bit
Yeah.
more than that. It looked a bit more
Yeah,
than that in
way
the
more.
speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not like they can reproduce. They got no dicks anyway, so I don't know why I just brought it up.
Okay.
Because, it's because D&D forgot that they lost half of the Unsullied. We're just gonna, like everything wrong, we're just gonna throw it back at the wall. I will at least.
I mean, yeah, and going back to that scene when the speech was awesome, I believe it's a callback to the same speech to when Danny have the speech with the Dothraki in I forget what season that is. She have like an awesome speech with the Dothraki.
Is it when after she burns the whole thing and
I
then she
feel
went
like,
back
I
to
feel like yeah, I feel like that's it when she is riding the dragon. And
was that like season 6, I think?
I think it's season 6, yeah.
6.
And then also when Danny makes Grey Worm the Lord Commander or something like that. But yeah, it's that speech. It literally showcased that Danny is not gonna stop at that moment. Like she's gonna try to not only what's it called? What's the word? She's not only going
to rule. No.
not really rule. She mentioned it. It's like not only in King's Landing, but she's gonna go to even Winterfell. She's gonna go to everywhere else. What the hell's her exact quote? I'm gonna try to Google that.
What's the speech?
She said something along the lines that she wants to rule from there to that. She said Winterfell to Dorne. That's why when she said Winterfell, Jon is like, huh?
Oh.
Well,
wait, what?
well, to be fair, Jon doesn't understand because she's speaking in.
He doesn't understand, but he heard Winterfell and he was like, but he heard Winterfell and he was like, huh? She said something about my home.
Yeah, and then
Oh.
so I'm going to find that.
You know, one thing I've noticed is that nobody has drunk their wine yet except me.
I drank the wine. I just don't want to drink it too much.
I've had my juice. I mean my wine. Yep.
Yeah, my juice. Definitely grape
juice.
Definitely grape juice and not very sweet cranberry juice, which I don't like at all. Everyone just start drinking at the same time. What the hell? but yeah.
Hydration.
After that moment, when Tyrion walks up to her and she's like,
he throws the hand.
Then is like, you freed your brother. Yes, I did, but you kill like millions of people, and like I don't want the hand anymore.
Oh, that's so.
That's so bold because I feel like Danny should have killed Tyrion in there. Like, what's the reason for Danny to Yeah, exactly. Like
Maybe she was
She was what?
maybe she was showing like she can change a heart. Maybe like she's trying to prove him wrong after killing all those people. Maybe I don't really know either though. Like,
but
that's just a theory.
there's no hints of that at all throughout this. Yeah, like I feel like Tyrion could have just died. Yeah, Tyrion's like I
Just
freed my
straight
brother,
there.
and
Just get
I freed
Drogon
my
fire.
yeah I Tyrion's like I freed my brother, and you slaughter the city. Oof. That's like that's
Brutal.
yeah, and what's it called? After that scene, after Tyrion walks away, well, not walk away, he got escorted away, and then he sort of looks at Jon Snow, like Jon Snow doesn't know what to say, and then suddenly out of nowhere, boom, Arya appears, and that was kind of
Yeah, right next to him.
it was surprising, but not surprising at the same time.
I was like,
But
she's a faceless one. She can blend in.
yeah, but the two scenes, I feel like the two defining scenes for Jon Snow in deciding to kill Dany, is first his talk with Arya, because Arya even brought it up that you think Sansa is like Jon's like, but she's my queen, but Arya's like, you think Sansa will accept that as well, and then like or something to that form, and then when he's talking to Tyrion, throughout the whole debate with him and Tyrion, I feel like Jon Snow is still unsure if he should
On
do it or
Dany's
not.
side, yeah.
Yeah, but the turning point is when Tyrion used the family card, and he's like,
Yeah, like Sansa will they bend the knee. They bend the
yeah,
knee.
it's like you have a, they don't have a choice. Like when Jon's like, they don't have a choice, but you do. And then like Jon's like, oh shit, yeah, that's right. If I do this, they probably Sansa and Arya is probably gonna die.
Hmm.
Yeah, what do you guys think of both the interactions with Jon and Arya, and then Jon with Tyrion?
I like the Jon and Tyrion one because that kind of reminded me of him. Like he's still witty. Like he still has that side of him, which you didn't get to see much of in season 8. So that was kind of nice to see. With Arya, that was also quite nice to see. But I still preferred the Tyrion one if we had to compare.
Okay, Ariq?
I mean, I guess like the Arya one is a bit more what do you call it? Like a bit more heartwarming, I guess, most of his interactions. But yeah, I still like I don't know, it's like when I watched the interaction between Tyrion and Jon, yeah, I just remembered like the very first like season, I guess. Like is it season one? I think it is season one where Tyrion visited him at the wall. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so different if you remember it. Like the way they talk from then until now.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like the only reason, because the reason why I sort of like this episode is because they make Tyrion not very dumb. It's sort of hinting, it's sort of hinting of the old Tyrion. Because throughout this
Mm.
whole season, I feel like Tyrion has been the dumbest character in the whole show, and I feel like
Made
they
so many
did
mistakes. Yeah.
exactly like he clearly know that he shouldn't trust his sister, but he decided to trust his sister, which is a stupid move. And I feel like the
Mhm.
only reason they do that is because they have to dumb him down, because if not, he'll be always one step ahead. That's like I feel like that's the only reason why they make Tyrion dumb this season.
And why wouldn't they want to make him one step ahead? Is it
Because like like it will be uh in terms of a story point of view, they want to make it more, how do I say it? Like there won't be the events with Missandei won't happen if Tyrion's like don't
They're like
trust
they just like just the tactics of the dragon. Like what? Like why?
Mhm.
Like the dragon in the and when they just kill one of the dragons instantly. Like if Tyrion just had a bit more tactics in that, they could have survived easily. No, they
Yeah,
just kill them off.
yeah. I'm trying to find a quote. I cannot really find the quote, but it's like she's basically trying to what's it's to unslave, if that's a word, of all the of everyone, like what she did in Essos, basically. So that's her goal basically, right? To in that speech, going back
Yeah.
to Danny. But yeah, and talking about Tyrion and the family card, it's funny how because the family is the strongest thing about the Starks. That's like their thing. But at the same time, it's also the strongest thing about the Lannisters because the Lannisters are all about family as well. It's like this opposing mirror, two different fighting families that are different, but in the same way, their moral concept is still the same, which is like kind of interesting. Disagree? Agree? No comment. Okay, no comment it is. Well, then we'll go to the scene where Danny kills Jon Snow, and I feel like at that moment, once again, the turning point for Jon Snow, I feel like is because he's trying to talk to Danny, trying to see if Danny at least apologize or realize that what she did is wrong, and the fact that
No.
she didn't, that is like when the moment where Jon Snow just kills her.
He's like, there's no turning back. She's like
Yeah.
the two of us can like rule together, and he realizes, oh no, like she's too far gone. Like she can't be helped. Like no words can sway her. She's just
Yeah.
Yeah, she's already like
made her
the
mind
Mad
up.
Queen at that point.
What did you guys think of how she died though?
Sudden. I didn't feel like throughout. I was just annoyed at her throughout the entire season. So part of me, I wish it was more climax. It was quick, like too quick. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's weird
Bitch,
because
bitch, I got spoiled, man. I was just looking for songs on YouTube, and then I saw a video John kills Danny. You fuck.
Oh, really?
What?
Oh
No
no!
Yeah, I got
way.
Go to YouTube.
Fuck
That's
you,
risky.
YouTube recommending me that shit.
Oh no.
That sucks. Oh man, but yeah, it's odd because I believe when John kills Danny, at that moment I'm like, oh shoot, this is it already? And I briefly look at my watch and like, we're only 45 minutes in. Huh, that's kind of
Yeah.
Yeah,
fast.
it's like halfway.
That's
It's
kind of
like
fast.
halfway through.
I'm like, okay, what do we do from here now?
And like, yeah,
What now?
it was like at that moment because like I wasn't. I was sure John is gonna kill Danny, but I wasn't sure as well because John is like, "You're my queen," and I'm like, "Oh, come on, John, really? Is that really what you're gonna do?" And they
Grow
kiss,
some
and then
balls,
John
mate.
just stabs him, just stabs her, and like, "Oh, woo, okay, so this is where we're going."
Like throughout the whole season, he's always like, "My queen," and then suddenly I stabbed my queen.
Yeah,
I just out of nowhere.
but yeah, it's sort of sad because even though I know Ariq wanted in our preview episode, you wanted Danny to be queen, right?
Mhm.
I don't know about you, Jason. I don't know how much you like Danny. But I like Danny quite well. She's one of my favorite characters.
She was really good at the beginning. Like she had a good heart at the beginning, but then near the back end, no.
So many of the coolest moments throughout the whole show is with Danny. When Danny first her first ever Dracarys, when she got
That's
unsullied, that is an awesome scene. When she got burned twice and stay alive, that's an awesome scene. When she's sailing to Westeros in the ending of season 6, that is one of my favorite scenes in the whole show. So a lot of stuff involves Danny, and it's just it's sad that this is how her ending is. But yeah, and she doesn't even get to sit on the throne. She just touched it.
She's like,
just
oh,
touched it.
and
Just
in her
touched it.
mind, she thought it was something a lot bigger as well, but it's
Yeah,
a normal chair.
yeah, she
I
did point
mean,
that out.
I think in the books it was mentioned that it was really big, and
Oh really?
like you had to climb like a flight of stairs to reach the actual seat.
Oh well.
Like that's how big
mean-
it was in the books, but in the in the actual show, it's like nah.
Jason, I don't know about this, but do you read the books?
No, I haven't read the books. No, have you?
No.
I
That's
didn't read
too
the
long.
books either.
It's gonna take a while, but yeah.
I can't read, so
You can't read. Okay.
You're like
Okay.
you're like are you gonna be like Davos from the earlier seasons and you're gonna transform?
Yes, gonna start to learn how to read.
Yeah. When Danny was touching throne, and then Jon was lingering in the background, just kind of chilling. And then as soon as she killed Dany and Drogon came, I was like, I thought Drogon's gonna burn.
Gonna set
Jon
fire. Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
And how
But then I
cool
was like,
would it
because
how cool would it be? And because if it's a Targaryen and somehow survived that would be like such a cool scene.
that would have been very
John,
cool.
John the Unburned.
But yeah, like why would Drogon not burn Jon at that moment? Like I saw a meme where it's like Drogon see the knife on Dany and then see the Iron Throne. It's like, you killed my mother, Jon, and start burning the throne.
It's like he's like pointy thing, and it looks like a pointy thing. Burn, burn.
But yeah, it's confusing why, and I like how Drogon carried out Dany at the very end. But one of the most heartbreaking scenes is when Drogon is just seeing Dany and he's just like nudging her, like a dog, like nudging if someone like it's a call. If you watch The Lion King when Simba is nudging Mufasa, it's like so heartbreaking, and they did that with a freaking dragon. It's like, oh no, that's so heartbreaking.
You feel for him, yeah, like the emotion, like this vicious killing animal, and then she's like so vulnerable, pulls at the heartstrings.
That's a good scene. There are lots of good scenes with Drogon, not only just the opening, like Ariq said, and this scene as well. So I mean, I don't know how smart the dragon is. So
do you think because the dragon might have realized that Jon's actually to the throne, he didn't do anything?
I don't know. Maybe because he senses.
Does he know that?
Targaryen, yeah.
Yeah, that's because you know how like the Targaryens are the only ones that can ride dragons, and so when Jon gets on the dragon, he's like a natural. Well, not really natural, but like he's allowed to get on.
Yeah.
So maybe he can like sense that he's a Targaryen and he's like the rightful heir to the throne, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just have a connection so that Drogon cannot attack Jon.
I know. There hasn't been any like hints to why he burned the throne. Not that I.
Maybe Drogon is that smart, and it's like, if my mother cannot have the throne, then no one can.
Ooh.
I don't think he is that smart, but who knows?
No, he knows maybe.
Emotions. But we've been lied this whole time. Turns out Drogon is not a dragon and it's a wyvern. It has 2 legs. God damn it.
I mean, it depends on how the world perceives it, but technically, yes, he is a wyvern. Technically, but
so a dragon has 4.
If the world, dragons have 4 legs and 2 and a pair of wings.
Oh.
Wyvern has a pair of wings and 2 legs.
And 2 arms?
It's the biggest lie in Game of Thrones history.
Dragons have like 2 arms, 2
legs. There you go.
You googling
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm getting cultured.
Dragons have 6. The point is, dragons have 6 limbs and wyvern has 4.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Dragons are cooler.
Going back after Jon kills Dany, we see sort of a time jump, and it's not the time jump like what the Russo brothers did 5 years later, but we don't actually know how long it is after the time jump after Jon kills Dany, but it's some kind of time jump because everyone is back in King's Landing, and we covered that. And something that we haven't covered is the new small council consisting of Bran, the master of coin, because he rules Highgarden, and first and foremost, Bran is the master of coin in both Game of Thrones and John Wick. What the hell? You guys have watched John Wick?
Yeah, spoiler for John Wick. Spoiler for John Wick 3.
You've seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, sorry.
No, I haven't.
Never mind. Fuck it.
But if you guys want to say it's alright.
It's not like a big part of the story though. I'm just saying that.
Okay, that's alright.
Like, I'm just gonna say that he was in charge of making those golden coins. The one in Museum John Wick 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was in charge of that. That's why he's the master of coin.
He's literally not the smartest.
The crossover is real.
He's not the smartest in math, but because of Highgarden, he became a master of coin, which is like very funny to me. And then Brienne is the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, Davos the Master of Ships, Samuel Tarly the Grand Maester, and also he wrote down.
I'm just glad that Podrick becomes a knight.
Yeah. he was as quiet and as a knight. And then Samuel Tarly, Great Maester, who also wrote down his Song of Ice and Fire book, which is very meta. And Tyrion, of course, the new hand of the king. And we don't have a Master of Whispers or a Master of War. But
do they need a Master of Whispers if
exactly
Bran
Bran knows everything.
Yeah.
He is the Master of Whispers and the king at the same time.
But yeah, what you guys think of the small council scene at that moment? Ariq?
They look like a bunch of delinquents who knows nothing of how to run a but I think they would be able. I think like given time, they would actually understand eventually. Especially Bran, like I'm like, how the fuck did you?
Yeah, what? How is he gonna know anything?
His back and forth with Davos is like, and with Tyrion at that moment with the ships and everything. It's sort of like sitcom-y. I can almost hear the Friends theme song playing in the background.
And then the title "Small Council," starring Tyrion Bran. Oh, that's so dumb.
And by the way, well, I'm not gonna say it first. I'm gonna go with Jason first. Jason, what do you think of the small council scene?
I think it's good. Like, I think it's like instead of leaving it wide open, they have at least some structure. You know, like at least there's some sort of future. They've thought about it. You know, and they're all suit pretty well. They're all suit well. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty nice. And Samuel Tarly with the book, and he mentioned that Tyrion is not there. Being the fact that Tyrion's my favorite character at that moment, I kid you not, I was laughing like a maniac. I was it's so sad, but at the same time I'm like, God damn it, why do they have to do this to Tyrion? I was laughing so hard that it's like Tyrion's not written in the book at all. And when Brienne was writing Jaime's Wikipedia page, so
Wikipedia.
What?
It's the King's book. It's the King's Guard
the biography
thing that.
It's a Wikipedia page, and I'm surprised that Brienne write down pretty good stuff for Jaime, despite the fact how Jaime treat her at the very end.
Yeah. A lot of people actually complain about how that practically
like he just leaves.
Yeah.
It's like we thought Jaime has changed. I thought he's better, and then all of a sudden
we had a thing for Brienne. No,
Brienne's like Jaime's bad in bed.
Oh, that metal hand is not. It's too cold.
Oh wow.
Those are some cold hands.
But yeah, it's nice, and I'm surprised that Brienne's training good stuff, and turns out she has the best handwriting in all of Westeros.
Yeah, wow, that was amazing.
During that scene in the small council, I really like that Tyrion's OCD is picking up when he's like moving the chairs. He's like moving the chairs around. And it's a callback to honestly one of my. It's a very small scene. I don't know if you guys remember, but I think it might be season 4 or 5 when Tywin was the hand of the king, and then Tyrion was the master of coins, and Tyrion's just grabbing a chair and is slowly dragging it, and there is Cersei just waiting over there as well,
taking his time. Yeah.
I love that scene. It's sort of like callback because he's fixing the chair and everything.
Yeah, I remember that one.
But yeah, at that moment, Bran decided to just warg away out of his first council meeting and decided to go, okay, I'll search for Drogon. He warged away out of his. Is that what they're really gonna do as a king? Just warging. So, yeah.
Who doesn't want to warg as a dragon? That's kind of cool.
I mean, he did say he's gonna fly or something. I feel like there's a quote, something like that Bran's gonna fly. But that might be it.
I thought it was just about him controlling the raven or something.
Maybe. I'm not too sure. But okay, one positive thing. Not really positive. Okay, you know what? I mean, I have more criticism about Bran being the king.
Yeah. Okay.
The fact that he doesn't want to be the ruler of Winterfell and then he want to be the ruler of Westeros is like, bitch, why do you think I came here all the way down here? Really? You've been planning all this shit? Is that what you're saying?
He's a mastermind.
What? Like, is he really did he plan out all of this to become the king? Because if that is the fact, then this is the true villain of the season.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like he said, like, "Oh, what do you think? I came all this way for nothing." And then near the end, when he said, like, Tyrion, you will be my hand, and he's like, I don't want to be your hand, and he's like, I didn't want to be king. So what do you want, man? Fuck's
Oh,
sakes.
Okay, like
make your mind up.
one good thing I feel like out of that is because Bran knows. I feel like Bran knows that there is no better king, no one better, more suited to be king than Tyrion. But the fact that there is no way Tyrion gonna be king because whatever he did in the history with the Lannisters, Bran have to step up to be king and choose him as the hand. And Bran literally have to do nothing because none of the king actually ever do anything, and the hand always does everything. So I feel like in a way he made Tyrion the king, which is like if that's Bran's plan all along, that's sort of smart. I
I
don't know if
mean,
that, I
I
don't know
guess
if that makes sense
I
at all.
guess technically Tyrion has the most, like, what do you call it, experience of everyone there.
He's been the
I
hand like three
mean,
times. He's been the hand 3 times.
He better be
he's
good at
been
it
the
by
hand three
now.
times, yeah.
Yeah.
He should be good at it by now. But season 8 they tried to make him look stupid, so I don't know.
Yeah, what the hell? God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, eventually all the Stark brothers separate on their own path. We talk about that, although we haven't really touched Sansa being the queen in the north. I like her costume in that scene is awesome, and the throne, the northern throne, is really cool. It's really cool. What you guys thought of
Oh, wait,
Sansa being the queen?
I didn't remember what the Northern Throne looked like.
It
But I think I
have
did.
a Stark emblem on the side or something like that, I believe.
Oh,
Oh,
I'll take a look at it later. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, they her dress,
Mm-hmm.
like her dress, somebody like break down. Like, they say that her dress is like, is made out of, like, not made out of. It's like it consists of things related to people in her family. Like, they say that the crown she wears
oh,
is representing Robb because he was the king in the
I
north at
believe
one point.
the crown is shaped reverse of Cersei's crown. I believe. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, but there's also more. It's like, also, like, her dress also has, like, fish scale patterns, which is for her mother, Catelyn
Uh
Tully, before she was Stark,
yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. I forgot the rest, but it's there somewhere. You'll find it on
And
Instagram.
she also there's like something that represent the tree. What's the name of the tree? The red leaf tree. I believe she wore
Oh,
like
yeah,
some kind
yeah,
of
the red,
cloak that does that.
yeah, that too.
Yeah. So yeah, Sansa. I I really like the fact that she becomes the ruler of Westeros. So yeah, I'm
She's
trying.
not
I'm
gonna
trying.
she's
question
a
it.
leader.
She's
She's like a
smart.
born leader.
Yeah, Ariq, I'm going to show you the throne. If you see that, you see the throne. That's pretty cool, right?
Oh, that's what it. Yeah.
Oh,
I
damn,
mean,
that is really cool.
It's
to be
really nice.
honest,
And yeah,
to be honest, from far
the crown
away,
is like reverse.
it looks like a big chair. That's it. But I saw the wolf. That I guess looks cool.
The walls look cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
The wolves look cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and even though I have a lot of criticism in terms of story points, someone just burped that day.
Yeah, that was
No,
me.
it's
That was the wine.
Even though I have
wine.
lots of criticism in terms of
Yes, the
story points,
wine.
this season have a lot of good scenes in terms of cinematic and
A lot of good action. Episode
yeah,
3. Oof,
Arya's when she killed the Night King. That's an awesome scene.
that was
When
awesome.
Dany killed King's Landing and destroyed King's Landing, it might not be
He
very nice
killed
to
himself.
see, but it is
That
an
went for
awesome.
so long.
It's an awesome scene. The fact that you see that
It's,
on a television show, I feel like
Yeah, the on a
I feel like
television
we're taking
show
that
is
for
kind of like,
granted, and
the
that's
cinematography
incredible.
was very good. Yeah.
And
Looks very.
the intercutting of like at the very end of the three Starks when they're walking, and then like the ships and everything, Jon, Arya, and Sansa, the intercutting shots, that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, what they lacked in the story,
yeah.
they made up for in other parts, which is good.
Yeah, and Benioff and Weiss did direct this episode, in case you guys are wondering.
The third one. I mean, to be honest, like,
Miguel,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Miguel.
the battle may look impressive, but really it's kind of stupid. I mean, if you know general military tactics and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
Miguel.
It's
I think his name is
stupid,
Miguel.
absolutely stupid. I had to wash my eyes with scenes from Lord of the Rings. The scenes where they like invade Gondor, whatever. I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
oh, that looks like a good battle. And then you just
I
remembered
mean,
that
they
this shit
they
show.
cannot they cannot top Battle of the Bastards. I feel like that's their top.
Oh yeah, that's too good.
But
Yeah,
yeah, the
that
director of
one's
Battle
good.
of the Bastards and the director of The Long Night and the director of The Bells is all by the same director, Miguel Sapochnik. So yeah, he's been directing all the big battles in Game of Thrones.
Oh, is that so?
hmm So yeah, this
Wait, how about?
here
Oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah, never mind. The third one was by D&D.
the third episode.
Yeah,
No, it's Miguel Sapochnik. That's the
was
Long
it?
Night. That's the Long Night episode. The Long Night, The Bells, which is episode 5, was Miguel. D&D directed this one. So yeah, well, overall, we talk about this episode a lot, but like throughout the whole season, what are some of your favorite things from this season? What are some of your criticism? What's your review of the overall season, Ariq?
To be honest, the first half was quite nice. I mean, I like the first half. The second half just feels extremely rushed, and like they could definitely like improve and all that on those aspects. But I guess all in all, it's quite, what is it? Like it's good, but on Game of Thrones like level, it's not
Standard,
that good.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for a TV series, yeah, it's cool. It's obviously good, but for a Game of Thrones, not really.
For a TV series, is beyond good, man.
Yeah,
It's
it's like a
beyond good
move.
for a TV series.
Each one's like an hour and a half long.
For God's sake, watch I watched Sweet Life on Deck a few years ago, and then now I'm watching this. Like the comparison to the
It's so different. Yeah,
I don't think you'd compare those two. I
they're
don't
very
think you'd
different.
compare those.
yeah, I probably shouldn't compare it,
But
but you think back, like it's crazy now what they have on TV. Like
Yeah,
even
there's
if
so many.
you compare it to like Daredevil on Netflix, it's not even close to what Game of Thrones managed to
Like the
get.
scale is just
Oh, yeah.
completely different.
Yeah,
You cannot compare it. Like
yeah, it's
no, I think
go on.
for this season for me, like I understand where they're coming from. Like they've only put themselves 6 episodes. They have to accomplish a lot. I think they've tried their best to touch on each of the main aspects of the story, even though they had to sacrifice a lot of plot holes. I think they've tried their best. There's been a lot of good action scenes, a lot of fights, and I think that's been the strengths. The weaknesses of the series, like the storyline, and some parts that we wish would have been longer, like the discussion at the end, and like the Clegane Bowl as well. I wish that was more of a bigger thing. Like it was
Oh, right,
there,
the
but
game.
but that wasn't even like that big either. So it was good and
in
bad.
my
Yeah,
in my opinion, for the Game Bowl, it's just that the arena they have chosen is not that good. I mean,
it was
they
just
could
like a
literally fight
staircase.
they could literally fight anywhere in the throne room or that in that place where they have the map of Westeros. But
That would
no,
have
they
been
fought it
awesome.
in on a stairwell
And then
with
Cersei
like
just like around them. She's like, okay, I'll leave you guys
she's
to it.
like she's like, ah shit, I am not
I like that.
involved.
I like that. That's like
Yeah, she's like, okay, bye.
Simpson the Homer Simpson scene where she's just like hiding to the back to the bush.
It's like,
I
hey,
mean,
this is none of
I
my
mean,
business.
he literally killed Kyburn like in one hit. So like Cersei's like, well, shit.
Not even one hit. It was just a throw.
Yeah, he just like throws him. He's like, listen to me. He's like, nope.
You, listen to me. No.
Yeah, he's like a zombie as well. Like, how do you kill him? Like, you don't even kill him.
Well, I'm
You
pretty
just like chuck him
Like-
out.
actually. I'm pretty sure he died
Yeah, like
with the Hound.
Yeah, he died. I'm pretty sure.
There is no way.
yeah, he died in the fire, but still, though, like I mean, the fact that Kyburn was able to make a better White Walker than the Night King himself.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my review throughout this season as a whole is there's out of the whole season there's only one episode which I like. The other episodes I'm not a fan of, and the bells is probably my least favorite episode out of all. And my favorite episode is weirdly enough episode 2, which is
Oh,
the one where nothing pretty much happened but a lot of talking and everything. Because to
the
me, the
story.
best parts of Game of Thrones, weirdly enough, are the conversations, the character moments. Like this,
Yeah, you mentioned this to me. You're more you prefer like the type that is like more developed towards character
yeah, but
development.
I mean, like even like the moment with Arya and what's his name, Stannis, but not Stannis, Tywin, in season 3, I believe. That's only
The
like small
Hall,
character
yeah.
moments, and that's like a really good scene. And like in that episode too, there are like lots of great moments in the
Actually, I
campfires.
actually like I really like the interaction between what is it, Arya and Tywin. I still like
Yeah,
that part.
and also if people are arguing that Benioff and Weiss don't know how to write, they only can adapt and everything. The Arya and Tywin is not in the books, and that is something they clearly made up only for the TV show, and that's a lot
Oh,
of people's favorite thing about the show. So
Oh,
yeah,
really?
there
It
you go.
wasn't in the books.
Nope, that's not in the books.
Oh.
I
yeah.
haven't
I
read.
was gonna say like this kind of felt like a little like Transformers to me, like
Right?
this season, like heaps of action, right? Heaps of action, but like lacking a story, sort of. I know it's like that's like a dumbed down version, but like that's what I felt.
I mean, I can see where you're getting. There is a Starbucks product placement, and Transformers' best thing is product placement. So yeah. But yeah,
My
and
God, the Starbucks.
it's a very wild comparison in my opinion, Chase. But I can see
Yeah,
where you're getting it.
it's a stretch. It's a stretch.
But what's it called? Uh, what I was gonna say? The my mind blank. But Benioff and Weiss, they adapt a lot of the stuff in the books. They make new stuff, but they also adapt some of the stuff that's not in the books. That's probably better off, like the Caitlyn Stark zombie. If you know, Ariq told me in the books, Caitlyn Stark become a zombie after she died.
Whoa. Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty sure that's a bold decision for Benioff and Weiss to not make her a zombie. So
It's a bold decision not to make her a zombie. I mean, it's more believable if she's not a zombie.
exactly. And yeah, the reason why the bells is my least favorite episode because first of all, they really screwed Tyrion over in that episode. Second of all, Jamie is among my favorite characters as well, and his arc literally out of everyone's arc and growth throughout the whole series, Jamie's arc was the fastest one to went down the drain, and it was like totally useless. Like, what the hell is the point of that? Like, imagine if
it
like
became meaningless so quick.
exactly like imagine if Jamie comes back to King's Landing to realize that Cersei has been fucking Euron, and then Cersei is like claiming it's Euron's child, and then Jamie's pissed off because she sends Bran to kill her, and Jamie decided to kill Cersei instead, and like boom, that would have been like at least a better ending for Jamie's arc instead of going full circle once again, like oh I love you, and then they died in each other's arm. Like sure, it's sweet
Oh,
and
Yeah,
it's
poetic,
so
but
cliche.
people
it's
expect
It's so
people expect
cliche.
Cersei to die. People
You
expect
want to
Cersei
see
to
like
die from him, right? That's why.
yeah.
But instead, they died from a rock. So, yeah,
anticlimactic ending. We want a
yeah.
twist, and then we just get like the most like cliche ending ever.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, they're talking about like predictions and prophecies. You might, I just want to like point it out. There's like a prophecy for you remember there's like the witch that talked to Cersei about like, oh, you're gonna have 3 childs and you're gonna die in the hands of your younger brother, something like that, right? And she did. She did have 3 childs, so I'm not surprised that her newest born is not gonna survive. Her baby, I mean, like the one in her belly. And by the way, it's weird because I'm pretty sure there is like some time jump, but you don't see any bump in Cersei's belly. At least like make some bump or something to make it show that.
Yeah, make it believable. Come
Yeah.
on. Running out of.
And technically,
Unless she was
Jamie,
lying all along.
I'm pretty sure she is. I'm pretty sure she is not lying. And Jamie, and Jaime's technically younger than Cersei, even though they're twins. He's younger by 10 minutes, I believe, or a few minutes. So the fact that Jaime, when she died, she wrapped around Cersei's neck like that. So it sort of fulfills the prophecy. Although a prophecy that was not, I don't know if this is really a prophecy or not, but Arya is like the Melisandre moments, like brown eyes, blue eyes, green eyes. And people thought Green Eyes is gonna be either Cersei or Dany, but she never did kill anyone. So I don't exactly know if there's a prophecy or not, because she did kill Night King and killed what's his name? The guy from Riverlands. Not John, from Riverlands. I forget his name.
What's his name? Oh god, I forgot his name.
Walder Frey.
Walder Frey, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, episode 5 is like, oh, that's it. It sucks. It sucks to me. But
it sucks.
But still, this whole show is something truly special. The fact that we got so many good seasons, and yes, maybe they failed to nail the landing, but there is so many good stuff, and people bonded over Game of Thrones. There are like so many theories and speculation videos. There are.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm not sure if people know this, but you came to Game of Thrones quite.
Yeah, I did.
You caught up really quickly.
I did mention it. I feel like,
but caught up really quickly. Yeah, but
I started this January, and I'm obsessed with Game of Thrones. It's among my top fandoms right now. And yeah, in between,
I think I was the only one who watched Game of Thrones in the entire council, and then eventually tagged along.
Like in between season 7 and season 8, what I've been doing is aside from listening to theories and podcasts, I'm subscribed to like 4 podcasts that do recaps of Game of Thrones after every episode and predictions and everything. So aside from listening
dedication
to and everything, I have been watching. I have in between the season 7 and 8, I have watched videos of like the family tree of Game of Thrones, the history of the Starks, of the Tullys, and the history of the Robert's Rebellion and Rhaegar and everything like that. It's like, dude, the lore and mythology of this world is so fascinating, and I cannot. Yes, there are mythology in like Marvel and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter is neat and all, but Game of Thrones have just, I don't know, there's like something special to Game of Thrones mythology that makes it like so. It's so interesting to learn about.
I mean, yeah, they did mention a lot of things that I would really like. And I thought are they gonna make some kind of prequel? If I'm not mistaken.
There is going to be some spin-off series, and I don't know if it's a prequel.
Oh, really?
But there is one spin-off that is going to star Naomi Watts that has been confirmed, and I believe there is 2 more spin-off series, but I'm not sure it's not confirmed yet. Which is why I'm hoping one of them is the Arya one, because I feel like in terms of everyone, she got the most to tell. Plus, she's going to somewhere new, so
exciting.
Yeah, and Ariq, by the way, if you recall, our episode title for the Game of Thrones predictions, we had 2 episodes, right? The first one is Daenerys Targaryen gonna die? And it sort of got confirmed, so we sort of predicted that. And the second one, the second one is Tyrion Lannister is going to be the king of Westeros. Which, if you go with my argument, that because Bran is the king, that's technically true. So we technically predicted in our titles. Wow. What about that?
You guys predicted Game of Thrones.
I wouldn't say we got both of them correct. I would say we get 1.5 correct. Or 1.5 because one was right, the other half is because Tyrion is only half a man. I mean,
brutal.
Wow.
Attacking him.
Wow. I mean, like he's not actually the king, but he did kind of like rule.
Brutal.
It's crazy that Thanos snap went multiple universe and it actually snapped Tyrion in half.
Crossovers are real.
It's actually E3, but he got transported to become Tyrion. E3 from but yeah.
I bet he was.
So yeah, Jason, Ariq. So what are just your overall thoughts on the season as a whole?
I really liked it. You know, it's a phenomenon for TV series. It's hour and a half for a TV show was unheard of, and I loved it. It was a really great show, great stories, great characters. It really made you invest in each one of them. They all had great backstories. The casting was great as well. So overall, I thought it was really good. You know, even though, like as you said, they didn't. I don't think that should take away from the entire series. Like it was still really good. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, and you point out casting. None of the casts are very well known, but now they're like
No, yeah, they're
stars, so that's good.
famous. Yeah.
And yeah, Ariq, what are your thoughts of the overall season of the whole show?
Well, I started watching the series just because I saw like a trailer of season 7, I think, and I was like, holy shit, so cool, dragons and battles and shit.
Mhm.
So I started watching because of that. But it turns out that, like it's more than just like the battles and shit. Like even in the first episode, the first season is usually like, for me at least, I usually like find something like that kind of boring. Where it's all just talk and drama and shit.
None of action.
Yeah, but eventually I was like kind of invested. I was like, oh, what's going on next? And then next episode, oh, what's going next? And then
Oh,
the more I watch, the
kept
more I get
going.
addicted, and then eventually shit happens. But the thing is, I already know some of the stuff what's going to happen. So like when I first watched the Red Wedding, I wasn't like, oh my god, my character. So I'm just like, oh yeah, I saw that coming. Yeah, I know what
How
happened.
did you know about the Red Wedding?
You read the
I know
books?
everything about the, like, not everything. Like I know the major events in Game of Thrones before watching it
Oh,
because
okay.
it's everywhere on 9gag and all that. I
Oh,
never
that's
really
spoiled
bothered
already.
watching it.
All right,
It's already spoiled for me from since the get go.
that
But
sucks.
so as a whole, really, like as a whole, I think it's pretty much one of I think it's the best TV series I've ever watched. Actually, yeah, yeah,
I mean, there's
it
nothing
is.
really
Quality.
like it. Like try to think of a
Yeah,
comparison of a show that is remotely
you can't
close to
even
Game
get
of Thrones.
anything that's close to it. Like,
Not in terms of
well, I
just
You
guess
can't.
I like, what is it? The Daredevil season 1, but that shit is nothing compared to Game of
yeah, I mean like
Thrones.
not in terms of just the characters, but like the scope of the world, the production, and the fan
Mhm.
base. Like
There's
it's
so
it's
many fans. Oh my god.
it's a phenomenon. Like literally, the
I mean,
people are
yeah,
having watch party to watch a TV show. It's
yeah. I mean, like
uncanny.
I've seen it. I've seen it as some kind of like Lord of the Rings TV version,
They have
and
premieres.
I guess it
They
kind of
have premieres in
is it too.
Hollywood and in New York. They have red carpets for a TV show for a season premiere. That is crazy.
Wait,
Crazy.
It's not gonna happen
didn't
again
Peter
anytime
Dinklage
soon.
won? Did Peter Dinklage won an award
I
for
think
the
I'm gonna
for
Google it. I think
cinematographer?
he was nominated for an Emmy. I'm not sure if he won an Emmy.
I thought he won because I think he made a speech or something. I don't know.
But I feel like if any this once again this season that final episode might win him an Emmy if any because he got a lot of speeches in that final episode. But yeah, it's I cannot think of any other shows like it. I don't think any other shows in the close approximate time will touch Game of Thrones in terms of just the scope, the fan base, and the impact and the culture of it. It's it's crazy. And yeah, where is the Emmy? But once again, the world building, maybe it's a testament to how good the books are. But the world building is really great, and it's not like how in Harry Potter I want to go to Hogwarts. Like I don't want to go to Westeros. It's a horrible place to be at. But it's just an awesome world to see. And yeah,
Yeah.
Tyrion did won an Emmy in 2011 and 2015 and 2018. So he won it 3 times. Best outstanding
Is it
supporting
from Game
actor
of
in
Thrones?
a drama series. Yeah,
Oh
outstanding
wow.
supporting actor in drama series. So 3 times. All right, you were saying something?
Oh, you were.
No? Okay. Well, yeah. Let's just well, you guys have anything else to say about Game of Thrones? Might as well. Maybe I don't know when else we're gonna talk about Game of Thrones again. So might as well. I'm just gonna ask. throughout the whole season, now that you see season 8 as well, who's your favorite character and what are some of your favorite scenes?
Oh,
Feel free to say more than one.
Yeah, favorite character is quite difficult.
It's tough. It's tough, right? Like that's
It is
once
so
again, once
hard.
again, it's a testament to like how good. Like when you ask someone, the answer is
There's
probably
like
not
not
the
one
same.
main character, you know? Like, you know how like some series like Daredevil, you're following like Daredevil, like supporting cast. For like Game of Thrones, they're all main characters. Like, you can't just pick one. Like, they're all
And
just
even like
so good in their own
even
right.
like if you ask someone in the streets and if they do happen to watch Game of Thrones, it's even possible that their favorite character might be like Grey Worm or like Davos. So it's like it's every people's favorite character is like different, which is like incredible.
Some people could say Hot Pie is their favorite character.
Exactly. Like it's
So,
I'm gonna say my top favorite are once again Tyrion.
Tyrion, yeah.
And believe it or not, I am not a fan of Sansa throughout season 1 till season 6. And then at the end of season 6, all the way till now, Sansa totally jumped up my list in terms of my favorite character. She is incredible. Sophie Turner is fantastic as Sansa, and she becomes such an awesome character. And probably I don't know. Jon Snow is a bumbling idiot this season, so I'm not that big of a fan.
You can't really judge people off. Yeah.
And Jaime's closure really ruined it for me. So I'm just gonna say Sansa and Tyrion at this point because like I really like them. You know what? I'm gonna throw in Theon in there. I'm gonna throw in Theon because his redemption arc really justifies him for me. And
he's like, I'll stay behind and protect Bran. I'm like, oh, he's not gonna make it.
Yeah, that's
he's going off.
It's a testament because if you guys listen to our episode which we do the prediction, me and Ariq did our top 3 list, and my top 3 list right now and my top 3 list then is completely different. Right now, the only similar one is Tyrion, but Sansa and Theon was not in my list, and I believe I had Jon Snow and Dany, I feel like, or something, or Arya.
I put them
Arya is still up there though. I forgot about Arya, but she's still up there. Ariq, Jason, what's some of your favorite characters?
My favorite character is also I like Tyrion.
Tyrion.
He might not be like the best action wise, but he makes up for it in like his wit, and that's what like I respect, like intelligence. He's able to create the situation for himself. Like when he's stuck in the situation where he has the fight and he gets what's his name, and he fights in in combat instead to get out of his
in the Blackwater.
Yeah, in Blackwater.
Yeah,
like
Blackwater,
he uses like his brain to get out of the situation. He's like he doesn't accept his fate. Like he's got perseverance. He's got I don't know grit, to get him through.
Okay. Ariq?
I'm running out of wine.
We're gonna wrap up pretty soon, but yeah, what are some of your favorite characters? Is it still the same as your initial top 3?
The more I think about it, I'm like, you know what? All these damn characters, they're all like the common ones that people really know and get to see. But for me, I have to go with the Hound.
Oh, wow.
Sandor Clegane,
I like that.
man. The thing is, he's like he's perceived as a badass guy, and he is a badass guy technically, and he's like one of the stronger characters.
Yeah.
But he's his interactions with Sansa is actually quite cute. Like he's very
and with Arya as well.
And him traveling along. I'd rather see 8 seasons of him and Arya just traveling around Westeros than a lot of other things. That's like one of my favorite parts. And of course, he has like amongst the best quotes out of everyone. If you don't shut up, if you keep talking, I'm going to eat every fucking chicken in this room.
Yeah. He's got some good one-liners, definitely.
He got a lot of awesome scenes too. His battle with Brienne was amazing. That's one of my favorite Game of Thrones. And yeah. And I'm just gonna give a brief shout out to some characters who's now in memoriam, who's all past, but some of my favorites as well. Like Ariq pointed out earlier. Shit, what's her name? What's the name of the one that killed the giant? Why am I blanking? Lyanna
Oh,
Mormont.
Lyanna.
Lyanna Mormont.
Lyanna.
Lyanna Mormont. Jorah Mormont.
yeah.
I love those characters.
I feel bad for Jorah, you know,
Olenna
third
Tyrell.
wheel.
Oh yeah, Jorah. I mean,
He
Jorah
never got the push.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Just straight up says it.
Olenna Tyrell. She's an awesome character.
She's a badass grandma. I actually really like it.
How she went was so awesome. And
Tell
also,
Cersei it was me.
one of my favorite characters, and I almost forget to mention her because I wanted to talk about this earlier, but I almost forgot. I'm gonna mention it now, real quick. It's Ygritte. I don't know why I really like.
Oh,
Ygritte.
Ingrid, yeah.
And
I mean, she
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
I care more.
She just thought that.
Yeah, the fact that I care more about Ygritte dying in the hands of Jon Snow more than Dany dying in the hands of Jon Snow, even though we built more with Dany, says a lot to me. And this is just my opinion. It's just my opinion.
I think it's like because Jon was like starting to. I think it's because of Ygritte. That's why Jon starts liking the wildlands, the free folk even more.
Yeah.
Like ever since then.
But yeah.
Wait, I know we're about to wrap this up, and I'm pretty sure it's already past discussion. But so, what happens in Marine? What happens to Dario and his second son?
I don't know. Dario is still there. Dario's gonna.
He's still there. He's just gonna be like, I'm gonna prank Daenerys when she comes back.
Maybe Drogon's flying to Marine.
What is he gonna tell him directly?
He just put the corpse of Dany from Dario's like, oh!
He just dropped Dany's corpse like splat. Oh shit. So what now?
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen to Marine. I mean, it's its own.
Drogon just suddenly speaks and he's like, I rule Marine now.
He becomes Smog. He can speak like Smog.
I rule Marine now. Bring me wine and goat.
Yeah, but there's we
have run out of wine.
We can talk for hours once again about Game of Thrones, but I guess we have to wrap up. You guys have anything final else to say about Game of Thrones? Ariq, Jason?
Great TV show. I would recommend if you have not watched it, or if you have watched it, hurry up.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it for our Game of Thrones episode. I'm still sad that the show is over.
So sad, I know.
I have to find a new show now.
Read the books, maybe. Read Audible books. I don't know.
Yeah, probably audio books. But I'm gonna wait if he's gonna release all of them first. Maybe that way I'm gonna start. But yeah, it's crazy that I'm sad that's gonna end and that it ended, and then excited at the same time that the final season was about to start.
I just realized I kind of feel bad for you, Bert, since you started this so late. It ends like for everyone. It's like, oh, it's been a long 8-year journey, but for you, it's more like an 8-month journey.
Yeah.
Out of all my favorite fandom right now, it's Marvel, Game of Thrones, Wizarding World, then DC, and that's saying a lot. I swear, I'm not even exaggerating. It's insane.
Wizarding World isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the fact, I'm just wrapping up here, and the fact that there are not a lot of TV show where I can put down my phone and just like 100% get invested to it. I started out this show not really knowing what it's about. I started this show because everyone was talking about it, and the final season is about to come, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to miss out. I want to see what this phenomenon is all about, and if I don't really care about the show, at least I know what's it all about. So I started to start watching. And guess what? I'm invested ever since Ned Stark got his head chopped off. I didn't see that coming.
That was a massive.
And then, of course,
Oh, you didn't see that coming?
I didn't see that coming. I didn't see Joffrey dying. I didn't see the Red Wedding. There are so many stuff that I didn't see coming. The only thing that I got spoiled is Aegon Targaryen's reveal because of Ariq. But aside from that,
who cares, man? Like,
aside from that, this show is incredible. I got nothing else to say. What a build-up!
This show is incredible. Period.
But yeah, I guess that's it. Well, if there's nothing else to say, Jason, thank you for coming.
No, thanks for inviting me. It's been really fun.
Yeah.
Where's your camera off?
What?
Who?
I don't know.
Mine?
I can't see Jason's face. I can't see Jason's face.
The camera is on in my screen.
Oh, never mind. It's on now. I fixed
Hello.
Is there any social media platform where the people can follow you if you want to?
Instagram at Jason Wiradharma.
All right, there you go. And Ariq, if you have anything else
it.
to
You
say,
can find.
and just plug in.
You can. I guess. I guess you can find me on Instagram, Ariq Andria, or if you want to play some games, I'm on Steam, The Bluesmith. Throwback to episode 5. or if you are a big Game of Thrones fan, you can just send a big one if you want, I guess. Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, and once again, you guys can follow me at Wiradharma, Twitter and Instagram. You can, if you're listening on the Apple Podcast or Spotify or Castbox or Anchor, please leave a review. And I believe someone leave a review, and I didn't realize it till last week, so we're probably going to read it in the next episode. And I'm going to read that review. Subscribe if you don't want to miss out. I don't know if we're gonna have Game of Thrones content soon, but we might. Who knows if there's like a spin-off? If there's a news breaking about the spin-off, we're gonna talk about that. But we're just gonna tease for next episode. We're gonna be it's something to do once again with Sophie Turner. There's a certain movie that she stars in, and maybe the topic for next week is involving that. Who knows? So
maybe not.
If you don't want to miss out, stay tuned and subscribe to the podcast feed. And by the way, I just found this out. If you're listening on Anchor, you can actually leave a voice message over there, and we can play it on the episode. So if you want to, go ahead, leave the message in Anchor app. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. I do movie reviews, trailer reactions. I also upload this kind of stuff. It's at Jaw Movies if you're not watching. And Ariq, you mentioned The Bluesmith. I actually just watched the live action Aladdin, and I
haven't watched that yet.
I liked it. I liked the film. I actually liked the film. I was surprised, and I did a review. It's in my channel if people want to check it out. So yeah, I guess that's it. Ariq, you can take us away whenever you're ready.
Guys, wine glasses. Raise your wine glasses.
Okay. You mean my Deadpool mug?
My one's empty. More wine. No, I don't have a fire. And the small council has. God damn it! You have to finish the wine.
All of you finish your wine. I haven't finished it. Now it's finished.
All right, and with that, the small council has spoken.